your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me tonight we have Brandon.
Hello, everybody.
And it's just the two of us again this week.
That's it, because no one wants to fucking talk to us.
Just the two of us again.
Yeah, we can make it if we try. Unless my cat continues meowing. Do you hear the cat in the background?
Well, it could be me, you, and the cat. We'll have the cat on here,
okay.
too.
I'll bring the cat on.
No, but we always do good on our one-on-one episodes, so it should be a fun one. So, you ready to get started, I guess? I'm not going to preamble it. All right.
If we haven't written down anything that we've been playing.
I do have two things to talk about, so...
Document day.
I know. So the first one I wanted to finish was Baten Kaitos Origins. Finally done with it. What? Yeah. So, I guess I'll just recap it really quick before I go into my final thoughts on it. So, this is that card-based RPG.
Mm-hmm.
It's made by Monolith Soft.
Mm-hmm.
I have to remember which one it is. Monolith Soft, makers of Xenoblade. This is the game that they worked on before Disaster Day of Crisis and Xenoblade, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set in a universe where there's these islands on the sky and people have wings of the heart. And in this particular one, it's a prequel to the original GameCube game. This is also a GameCube game. And your main characters are Sagi, Millie, and Gilo. Gilo's like a robot. And yeah, you have to take on the Empire, try to figure out what's going on with these afterlings of this dead god. And actually, one thing too, you play a role as you're this person who kind of I forget what they call it, guardian spirit is what they say. Mm-hmm. So you type in your name, and so he'll constantly be like, Mike, what do you think about this? And you'll be able to give your opinion between 2 or 3 different things, in terms of how we should respond to a situation, and that kind of changes the dialogues and everything. So, anyways, it's an awesome game. It's full of intrigue and political intrigue, assassinations, plot twists. It's an excellent game. I remember, I think I said before, it was the first game I ever said to myself, wow, this is a great localization. Mostly because the first game was poorly localized, and this one actually had a good crew come in and clean it up. It's the 8-4 Limited did it. They work with Nintendo a lot for a lot of their localizations. This was their first game that they did as a company, but they've done Fire Emblem Awakening as the same ones.
Okay.
So, but it's an awesome game. I got through it. I did have a bit of problem with some of the bosses. It still does kind of have the grindiness of some of the older RPGs. That is still there, unfortunately. But I ended up getting to a point where I just leveled the rest of the bosses. So that was pretty awesome. The story is great. It was great playing through it again. I do highly recommend it. And it's kind of really neat, quick card-based style where you kind of are trying to run straights to get combos, and it's fun. It's a highly recommended. If you can find it, play it. I would even say too, this is a prequel. I wouldn't even worry about playing the original GameCube one. Save that for later if you do want to play it. So that is that game. Like I said, I had a great time playing it and going back to it. Second game I went to this week was Chibi Robo. I just started that up. That was the game. Right now I'm on this kick of playing things related to E3 announcements that I'm excited for. And Chibi Robo, they did announce, was it Chibi Robo Ziplash, I think is what the game's called?
Yes, I think so.
And I love the Chibi Robo games. And I've played through the DS one 2 or 3 times, but I've never returned to the original one.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go back to and start that one. I think I just started it last night, actually. It hasn't even been that long. So, what do you know about Chibi Robo, Brandon?
I've never played a single one of them, but I've always wanted to, so I don't know anything.
All right. Well, let me tell you about this one. Because it seems that all the Chibi Robo games end up being, little different from each other.
Mm-hmm. This
one was the first one. This one is... I would probably actually describe it as more of an adventure game. You, basically, you're gifted to to this 8-year-old girl in this house that you live in. And you show up at her birthday party and everyone's excited and it's great and you're Chibi Robo, you're fucking star of the show. And then you realize that you are in a shithole house where they leave trash everywhere. And dad sleeps on the couch, mom is upstairs, they want to get divorced. And the girl is 8 years old, she's traumatized, she wears a frog costume all day and just says ribbit.
Huh?
Yeah. You're just like in this super depressing setting. And so Chibi is just like, I mean, his mission is to basically make everyone's lives better. So you start out going around like cleaning things, but you have to access different areas of the house. Like basically at first you're just limited to the living room because A, that's about as far as your battery will take you.
Mm-hmm.
And B, you have to figure out like the doors are closed to other areas or whatnot. So you have to get like upgrades. It's almost in some regards like Metroid-esque. Like, oh, you found a toothbrush. Now you can clean off these things and do this.
Makes me think of like Katamari games.
Visually and aesthetically, it reminds me a lot of Katamari. So
Katamari is literally one of my favorite game series ever. So that sounds really fun.
yeah, like I said, it doesn't quite play like that for sure, but it reminds me a lot. Like it's definitely got that Japanese quirkiness like Katamari does. Because you're like this, I don't know, 4-inch tall robot living around this house like with these, massive people. You can like fit in the palm of their hands really easily. And the other thing is too, like once the people aren't there, the toys come alive, and they have all these different things that you need to take care of as well. And so you're trying to find things to help them out. Like you go and find items that help them out. You go and find items that help you traverse the house because, like I said, you can't get everywhere right away. And as you do tasks for people, you get happy points and money. And as you get more happy points, you get better battery. Like every time you get a certain ranking. Like, when you start the game, you start out as, like, the 1,000,000th best Chibi Robo. But as you get happy points, like, every time at the end of the day, it checks your happy points and it will give you a score. And it'll be like, okay, you got 500 happy points. You are now ranked 6,322 or whatever. And you keep on going your way up. And your goal is to be the #1 Chibi Robo, because then you can be Super Chibi Robo. I honestly don't even remember what happens when you become Super Chibi Robo. But, yeah, I know that's something that you're going to. But I do really like the way that this game progresses and you, like, solve the people's problems. Like I said, right now, like, this girl's parents are, like, trying to get divorced. The dad sleeps on the couch. And they're, like, in super enormous debt. And then all this crazy stuff. Because then you have to also fight the Spydors. Spydorz. Who, I don't know. There's, like, a news telecast like at the beginning, and they're like, spiders are attacking Chibi Robos all over the world, and like then they just kind of like show up and you have to like destroy them, and then you can scrap them and recycle them into different things. And I know there's some like big old plot behind that too, but I don't remember what it is. So it's kind of nice going through and seeing all this again and all the different toys, because it's really creative kind of game. Like I said, it's an adventure game, kind of like, I don't know, like Myst or something. Like you go around and you are solving puzzles and finding things to help people, and it's got a day and night cycle, and some things only show up in day, sometimes things show up at night. Sometimes dad's up at night, so the toys won't be alive, then they'll just be in their like lifeless state. So yeah, it's really neat. I don't know, do you have any other questions on it? I can explain it a bit more, but
not particularly, but yeah, it sounds interesting. I kind of want to play it.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's the game. It was the first Chibi Robo game, and when I played it originally, I mean, he didn't have like 4 other games like he does now. But it's really cool. They actually released a new play control version of it in Japan, and they never did that here, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I do highly recommend it because they did a lot of really neat stuff with it. It's really cool what they did.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out. It does sound like something that would be up my alley.
Yeah, I said I think it would be, and it's very quirky. I think a lot of people would like it. And Park Patrol's really good too. That's the DS one. That one's definitely a bit different. You're not as much adventure gamey, kind of more action / park sim. Mm-hmm. It's probably a good way to put that one, but it has some of that adventure elements too. But this one I would say is very adventure oriented game, where you're kind of exploring and trying to solve puzzles, solve these people's problems, and to get like happy points to take care of it. And like I said, it's super quirky too. It's such a Japanese game. I love it.
Okay.
So, but that's all I've been playing. What about you?
I've actually been playing quite a few things. So I'll start with the first thing that I was playing, and we'll talk more about this during news. But I got Batman. I got the new Arkham Knight game. I was actually really excited about it. I ended up buying it on PC, and
that was a good choice, Brandon. I remember strongly applauding your choice to do that. Was it last week?
Yep. We will just not talk about how that went later. But for now, let's just say, then I got it on PS4.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
We'll go over that a little bit later. But, so here's the reason. It has issues. It has a lot of issues, and we'll talk about those issues later on in the show. However, for now, I will just say what I did play of the game when I had it on PC. The game seemed really fucking good. I mean, really fucking good. And that's what made me get it on PS4. And then I played more of the game. And it is really fucking good. It's probably, in my opinion, at least thus far, I'm only maybe 6 hours in, 5 hours at most. It's probably one of the best Batman games they've made, like, ever. It's got everything. Yes, it is amazing. It's super open world, like City was, but it doesn't feel as like overwhelming because the Batmobile alleviates a lot of that stress, and you can call it from anywhere. So like you can be on the top of a roof and like look down and press like L1, and then Batman will jump off the roof and land in the Batmobile that will like pick him up. It'll come from anywhere. It can turn into a tank, and you can do a lot of different maneuvers and everything. It has a grappling hook installed into the Batmobile, so you can like grapple up the sides of buildings, and you can like use it to like rip off parts of the ground and make like makeshift ramps. It is so fucking cool. And that's a lot of the fun of it, is using the Batmobile. But I mean, other than that, it's a Batman game. I can't really say much about it because the game is super spoiler heavy, like super spoiler heavy. In fact, so much so I have no idea how they stopped everyone from knowing about a twist that happens 25 minutes into the game that is literally like holy shit levels of that's a twist. Like fucking kind of like M. Night Shyamalan levels of what a twist. It made me like do a double take when it came up, and I was like, the fuck? What the how what? And the fact that still some people have not spoiled this twist really surprises me. Like, I haven't seen IGN spoil it, I haven't seen like Kotaku spoil it, I haven't seen anyone spoil it, and I'm just like, holy shit, either fucking WB is paying them a lot, because since they're not spoiling it, they can't show a lot of the game, because once that twist happens, that's the rest of the game, and it is wow. So, I mean, I'm very surprised by how not laden with spoilers this game has been, like online at least. The game itself is really good, really well written, lots of good voice actors. It's got a good story. Again, I can't tell you at all because they pull the shit where they give you a twist 25 minutes into the game and you're just like, holy fuck. But yeah, I love this game. I've seen a lot of people be like, this is the weakest of the entire series. I don't know what game they've been playing, but it's not this one, because this one's fucking awesome. So,
I was going to say, because I've heard that a couple times too. I haven't heard it's a bad game by any stretch. And they still definitely say it's a great game, but it's not as good as the other two.
Yeah, I completely disagree. Mm-hmm. Like, I had to slog through Arkham City because it just was so overwhelming with the amount of side quests and just general bullshit that like would lead to nothing. And this, it seems like anytime you're going somewhere, you're moving forward.
So what do you think about the Batmobile stuff? Because I've heard that's kind of disappointing.
I think they need to have their head checked.
Really?
Yeah. All the gadgets that are on it make it feel fresh and new. The enemies they throw at you, they're kind of disappointing because it's just like tanks and they're like automated and that sort of thing. But like actually driving the Batmobile feels really, really good. Like really good. So I don't know. Either people don't know how to control it or they don't fucking care. And I don't understand why they wouldn't, because it works really well. It's a very big portion of the game. There's like moments, for instance, where like you're trapped inside this glass room and you have to like figure out what to do, and so like you're able to like call in the Batmobile, and then it has like a suppressing gun on it, and you can remote control it. So like while the big bad guy is giving his speech about haha I got you now Batman, you can just be like fucking shoot them all in the head and he's like, oh shit, I better get out of here. But like there's moments like that throughout the thing, and you have to solve puzzles actually using it, and the puzzles work really well. So I think it feels really good, in my opinion. It always feels like there's a point to it being there, you know, not just it was thrown in here.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the true ending being left behind getting all the Riddler trophies?
That was kind of the case, sort of, in one of the past ones. But they made it a little bit even harder because one of the trophies was inside of a room that was not anywhere on the map marked. I believe this was in Arkham Asylum, the first one. There was like a Riddler thing that was set up, and it essentially told you, oh yeah, we're making Arkham City when you got through the wall, and you were able to see, you know, how the game was actually ending, if you were able to do that. So I don't think it's as bad as Arkham Asylum.
Well, I don't think that's a different, like, because the Arkham Asylum thing was just kind of a hidden room with like city maps, but that wasn't like an alternate ending.
Yeah, I know. I haven't gotten to the end yet. I don't know how bad the normal ending is. And when it comes down to Batman, the other games I've actually gone for 100%. I'm probably going to try for this one at least for the Riddler trophies. So I don't think it'll be that bad. Honestly, I don't know how bad it'll be. I may eat my words, but I don't think it'll be that bad. And there are plenty of games that have made it so it's like, I mean, like even back in PS2 days, there were plenty of games that made it be like, if you want the true special ending, fucking, you have to do this side quest shit, you know. Like, I remember as recently as BioShock, if you wanted the true ending, you actually had to, like, save all the little sisters instead of harvesting them, and it was every single one of them.
But
you couldn't harvest
like
a single one of them. There were more than 5. And you couldn't harvest any of them, and it actually made the game harder.
There was not that many of them, though. I mean, I guess a better example for me for this would be like Metroid Prime, where if you want the real ending, you have to get all the you have to collect everything. It had to be like 100% completion.
As long as the normal ending isn't complete shit, I don't think there's a problem with it.
Okay.
I really like this game. I think it's really well done. It is probably my favorite of the Batman series, at least thus far. It hasn't dropped off for me yet, so I might be eating my words in a week or so, but I like everything I've seen of it thus far.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time you've eaten your words on something either.
Oh yeah, in fact, that brings me to my next 2 games. So I got the DRIVECLUB PlayStation Plus edition. Like, you know, the free one they were showing. They said that we would get a year ago. I downloaded it. I played it for about an hour. And then I gave them $25 because it's that fucking good. And I have no idea why this got bad ratings.
It's been patched like a million times since then, Brandon. I'm sure that's 99% of it.
Yes, but a lot of the bad ratings, and I actually looked into this because I knew you might point that out. A lot of the bad ratings were because they were like, the game's just too dull. It's just I don't care. Not really, and it's just like a lot of bitching about stupid shit.
Well, you do remember a lot of the bad part of DRIVECLUB when it came out was the fact that you couldn't play it too, right?
Yes, I do remember that. Okay. But there are plenty of reviews that are like, this is not rating on the fact that you can't play online multiplayer and that sort of thing right now. This is just rating on the racing itself and how dull it is. And I don't agree. It feels like Forza. It is Forza on the PlayStation 4, and that is all I wanted, and I am okay with that.
Okay.
and I like it. I mean, only $25, and it's got hours upon hours of content upon hours, and I'm enjoying it, and I like the fact that the online works now, so like your friends list and like people that have played the game in the past, like you may be like going across around a corner and then it'll be like corner challenge started. Try to cut as close to the upcoming corners as possible, and you get like points based on how close you cut to the corners, without actually going over it, and then it like adds those points up and it like puts you on a scoreboard against like everyone that's playing the game and against your friend that had the next highest score to you, and like so on and so forth. I think that's a really neat thing that they have in the game, and that's in like every single level. And not only that, but they change it up, and sometimes like the same map might have a different one, even like if you restart it, because you're like, shit, I couldn't get that time correctly. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to restart it. The next time you restart it, it's going to be something different. Like, now it's a speed test. See who can go the fastest down this road and that sort of thing. I don't know, I like it. I really like this game. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, I don't regret that at all. I'm actually really glad they put out the PS Plus version, because if I wouldn't have played it, I probably would have just listened to everyone else and been like, yeah, it's just a shitty, boring racing game. But after playing it, I was like, no, this is right up my fucking alley. I love this. So, there we go.
Uh-huh.
And then the other game that I played, because I don't like survival games. I don't know if you've gotten this memo. I'm not a huge fan of survival games, especially the 3D open world ones. I think most of them suck.
I thought you loved Don't Starve.
Don't Starve is 2D, overhead, open world.
But it's a survival game.
It is different.
That you love.
So, hold on. I said most of them, and I said especially the 3D open world ones. Uh-huh. This is a 3D first-person open world one. I don't like DayZ. I don't like fucking that kind of shit. I don't like H1Z1. I don't like a lot of those. So, like, the ones that have spoken to me, the only two that I like so far is Subnautica, because Subnautica is amazing, and I love the idea of exploring an undersea world on an alien planet. Awesome. And Rust now, which I'm adding to that list. I came really late on this bandwagon. Apparently it's one of the more popular games on Steam, and it's been right up there for the last few years, always making it to the top 10 spot at least. When I first saw Rust, it was a zombie survival game. I didn't give a shit. They removed zombies from it a long while ago, and there are no zombies in this game, and it's only wilderness now. Like, so animals and other people. And essentially what Rust is, you know how when you're playing a survival game just in general, online with people, they're probably going to troll you and be assholes at some point?
Oh, yeah.
That's the entire point of this game. Mm-hmm. That is literally the only point to this game, is to, like, make your own game and to be assholes to other people. So much so that, to the point where you actually, when you log out or leave a server, your character stays on that server and goes to sleep wherever you log out. This leaves a lot of room open for griefing. Uh-huh. And it happens. And it's lovely. We actually had a friend of mine who logged out on our server, and my other friend has a mod where you can put up signs, but then instead of just putting up, like, you're supposed to only be able to write on signs or draw on signs, mm-hmm. but he has a mod where you can put pictures on signs from anywhere on the internet. Uh-huh. And my friend is really into anime, much like I am, but he's really into it. So we built him a shack and we covered it in hentai all over the place, and we locked him in there. So the first thing he saw when he woke up was, bam, just nothing but hentai all over his walls. It was pretty damn funny. And, like, that's the kind of shit that this game leads to. Like, for instance, we have a human meat shack where we have a friend that continuously runs into irradiated zones and gets himself killed. And then we have another friend that chops up his body and then cooks his meat and sells it to people for goods. It's fucking crazy. And
so weird.
I know. It's so good, though. Like, I did not expect to have this much fun with it. And, I'm really enjoying it. Like, and like, we got mods where you can have, like, multiple houses, and you can just type, like, teleport home, and you can like go to your different houses, so you don't have to continuously walk there, because these maps are huge. I mean, massively big. And the way you actually get things for like your bases or like your home or anything, like, or even clothes for yourself, because everyone starts out naked with a rock and a torch. That is how the game starts, and I mean fully naked. You have the option to censor people, so they have like a censor bar or something over them, or you can just be flopping about like quite literally. And fucking the way you get blueprints are, there are barrels that can either drop from airplanes overhead, that you can then follow the airplane and follow like the streaks it leaves in the sky and try to find where it drops off its supply drops, or there are barrels that are spawned every single day around irradiated areas. And when you go in there, you can open up the barrels, and you're either going to get an item such as, like, for instance, let's go with hazmat gloves. And you're either going to get hazmat gloves, or you're going to get a blueprint for hazmat gloves. If you get a blueprint for it, that means you can click learn, and now at any time in the game, if you have the materials, you can just make that. So it's not like, oh, these super rare items, you can only find them, and then if you die, you've lost your item, so that's that. You can actually find blueprints, or try to make blueprints, and then learn a very rare item and be able to make that at any time. And that's really neat. So we like send people out on scavages and like scavenging and whatnot, and we go looking and hunting for barrels, like me and Katie or me and GP and just other people. We go hunting for barrels, and we like try to find the items we need. And like for the ones that we already have, because whenever you use a blueprint, that means you've learned it, and now you can't use another blueprint of that same type. So it's like, okay, well, we'll just put some in a chest, and if anyone doesn't already know it, then whenever they spawn to our room, they can get some out of the blueprint chest, and they can learn it themselves. So we're like helping everyone out in the entire world. And like the world's so big, you can just be wandering around it and then find a random house, because it doesn't tell you when someone logs on either. So like we started out with just like me, GP, Katie, James, Wolf, and Ruddy, Dan. Like, we start out with all of our friends, like, in our group. Yeah. And, like, slowly we've been walking around the island trying to find goods, and we've been finding random people that have either built houses on our island that we had no idea were in the server, or we've been finding them completely naked, sleeping on beaches, and we're just like, huh, what do we do here? Like, for instance, today I found a naked guy sleeping on the beach, and GP was like, give him some pants. And so, like, I took off my pants and I gave it to him, and then GP teleports to me and gives me new pants. He's like, here you go. And then he leaves. So, like, I furnished the new guy with pants, and they're, like, high-end, like, high-level pants, that sort of thing. And it's a lot of fun. It's really crazy, and, like, there's guns that you can make, and rockets, and, like, AK-47s and shotguns, but you have to, like, find the blueprint, obviously, or find the gun. And it's a lot of fun, and you kind of make your own game out of it, but at the same time, it's really enjoyable, and I'm liking it so far.
Nice. So,
like, I bought it, I think, Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. No. I definitely bought that Thursday. Not this Thursday, I think. No, it was this Thursday. Yeah, I bought it Thursday, and I've already put 22 hours into it. So that should tell you how much I like the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. So, like, yeah, and if anyone decides to pick it up for themselves and wants to play with us, just hit me up on Steam or something. Or message me on Facebook, and I'll get you the info for our server, and we can all go and hang out. And you can be another random that we may either clove or cover in the house and build walls around you and be a general dickbag.
Did you say clove?
Yeah, clothe. Clothe.
I think you said TH. Clove with a
C-L-O-V-E. Yeah, I'll give you a clover. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I like it. It's a lot of fun, and that's a good game. So. Yeah, I think that's all I've been playing, actually. I'm trying to think, did I play anything else? No, I haven't played anything except DRIVECLub, Batman, and Rust, but those games have been taking a lot of my time, so...
Nice.
Yeah, they've been really fun, and I recommend people check any, if not all of them out, if you have the chance.
I wish Nick was here, because then we would get to hear... I guess we talked him into watching Jurassic Park, like the first one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll get that next week. But I guess otherwise we're on to news.
Oh, yes, it is time for news. We have news, it's mostly about Batman, but it's news, and here comes some Batman. Alright, let's just get straight into this shit.
Alright, let's get into Batman.
This is gonna take a little while. So, as you may have known, I mentioned that Batman's not good on PC. Here's the thing, it's really not good, and me and several other people figured this out, and we figured out the reason why. So I'm going to run you down a few of the reasons why Batman is not good on PC. And why, if you look on PC right now on Steam, it don't exist on there anymore. If you look on GameStop's website for the PC version of Batman, you won't find it. If you look any other accredited website for the PC version of Batman, you're not going to find it, because it is gone. Alright, so Batman was so bad it was removed from all accredited websites.
Yep.
And here's what happened.
Okay.
Essentially, from what we've found out so far, some of this is hearsay, some of this is like information we found by looking around and just putting 2 and 6 together. Essentially, Rocksteady did not make the PC version. They didn't make it at all. They didn't even touch it. It was actually outsourced to a group by the name of Iron Galaxy. Iron Galaxy. There we go. Iron Galaxy. Now, something you need to know about Iron Galaxy. They do console versions of games, not necessarily PC versions. They, I think, may have done Arkham Origins, which did not turn out very well for PC. But they're good people. The rumor is, and this is through looking through code and that sort of thing, that the PC version of Batman Arkham Knight was made in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds like something they would try to do.
It was a fast port from the consoles and made in 6 weeks. And because it was such a fast port, things were left out. For the first time in fucking ever, the PC version was way worse than consoles. Not just because of the fact that it wouldn't run correctly, but because of the fact that the consoles actually looked and played better than the PC version. Looked. I mean, absolutely. Max tier fucking, like, GTX fucking... Let's just say you have a Titan X. Like, Titan X's, which are really expensive graphic card. You have 2 of those, you aren't even going to be able to push over 60. Mm-hmm. In fact, you're going to drop from 60 constantly whenever you're using the Batmobile. But not only that, but missing graphics were in the PC version of Batman Arkham Knight. It actually did not have the rain effects that the Xbox One and PS4 version have. It did not have any ambient occlusion, which the Xbox One and PS4 version have. And it did not have any high-resolution textures, which, once again, Xbox One and PS4 version have. So, essentially, the PC gamers got stuck with the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 version, which doesn't even exist, by the way.
Yep.
It looked really bad, and it played really bad. I mean, really bad. And that's on top of the problems that we actually noticed, and I can 110% confirm are true. First thing, the system specs for Batman Arkham Knight on PC. They were changed for recommended and for lowest, you know, like just minimum, for minimum and recommended specs. They were changed 1 hour before the game released. 1 hour.
Well, that's enough time to update your PC. I don't know what you're playing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. So, that was a thing. That pissed a lot of people off. Not only that, but when those specs were changed, there was another thing put into the game at the same time. it was a little DRM by the name of Dinerva. Dinerva is a DRM that was essentially made by PC pirates because they know how to crack DRM. So some of the higher up ones, like the social tier of piracy and that sort of thing for making cracks for PC games, were hired by EA and other such companies to make this DRM.
Uh-huh.
This DRM has been confirmed and is known to ruin hard drives and decrease the lifespan of them. Not only that, but it has been known to cause a 10% increase in the system processing that's going on your PC. That 10% is the difference between you having 60 and you having 30, or you having fucking 30 and you having 15.
Uh-huh.
That's a major problem. And the reason why this is happening is because essentially the DRM constantly pings your computer to make sure you still own the game that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. And in nowhere, absolutely nowhere on the page of Batman Arkham Knight on PC did it say that this DRM was in the game. Normally, if you have a outside DRM in-game, like a third-party DRM, it is supposed to be listed clearly on the store page. It is nowhere on the store page, nor was it ever anywhere on the store page. That's illegal, and I have no idea how they got away with it, but whatever.
Well, probably had to do with the specs being updated an hour before release. I'm sure that rushed cycle has a lot to do with it. I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but...
So, yeah. Now, the reason why this is making news, and it's not just me complaining about getting burned, is the fact that I didn't get burned, and no one got burned. In fact, the only person that really got burned is either the distributor or WB. We don't fully know that yet. And the reason why is because everywhere, I mean, not just Steam, but Green Man Gaming, GameStop, and other such places said, we will honor the digital purchases of Batman and give you a full refund. Because WB said they would issue back refunds to anyone that purchased it.
Uh-huh.
So, if you got the PC version of Batman, you could get all of your money back. That's not a normal thing for PC gaming.
No.
It's not a normal thing at all. So, this is one of the first times in history that a game was so bad that the console version of it ran and looked better. And that the company came out because of the backlash and said, we'll just give all of you your money back. I'm legitimately shocked at how crazy this went and how bad of a launch it was.
Well, it's good on WB for sure. I mean, I feel like Ubisoft has had issues.
I feel like
they don't ever do refunds and stuff.
But they didn't. They never had to. Steam refunds, which recently launched right before this game was released, is what pushed these people over the edge. Because everyone was already refunding it on Steam. Like, everyone was refunding it on Steam. Mm-hmm. So, like, sales dropped, just plummeted, even like an hour or two after the game came out. It went from, like, being top of the list to, like, near bottom that quickly. No one's seen a turnaround that quickly, ever. And it's because of the Steam refunds, which were recently implemented right before Summer Sale started. And I feel it's a step in the right direction, and I feel that's what has a lot of clout in this discussion and this news, is the fact that Steam has given people the option to have refunds. We saw our first basically test run of it, like it actually needing to happen. And it went over so well that it made the developer come out basically and be like, listen, we know it was a mess. There was no point in this ever happening, so we're going to just refund everyone back their money from wherever they purchased it if they so choose. And I think the Steam refund and so many people refunding it in general put a lot of pressure on them because they saw how much money they were already losing. And it just, seeing something like that, that's kind of like a history sort of thing in the making there, because that's the first time that kind of thing has happened, even though it definitely should have happened with Unity last year. Like, Unity got away with it because there was no way of stopping them, but WB could not get away with it this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it goes deeper. Like, I want to go into the technical shit, like, there was an INI file included that had it specifically locked to 30 frames per second, and when they were asked about it, they said because they wanted the PC version to be on par with consoles and not surpass it, basically, saying they gimped it on purpose. But, like, I mean, it's a giant clusterfuck in general, and, it's crazy. I can't believe how poorly this went. But yeah, I mean, just in general, Batman was a big mess, and it made the developer for once in their life fucking, recognize their fuck up and be like, alright, fine.
Yeah, and I feel like we've seen, like, some of these before, but I feel like this is just the biggest instance of this. For sure. Like, usually it's some of the smaller publishers that will...
Oh, yeah, it's normally, like, an indie motherfucker, or, like, just smaller people in general that tried to, like, pull something over, like, people. But this was a big AAA publisher, and no one let them get away with it. And I think that's the big thing to take away from all this.
Well, and too, it doesn't even seem like they really even tried. I mean, they didn't... Well, at least they didn't try very hard to get away with it, because they pulled it back, like, after a day?
Yeah, they pulled it after a day.
Yeah, so...
But they did pull it after their Metacritic rating dropped to 20. So, that probably could have had some clout on the whole thing happening,
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it definitely comes off, at least to me, as kind of, at least more pro-consumer than, like, a lot of times we see this happen, which usually it seems just very, like... They would have drug it out for a while, or different things. I mean, then you have, like, weird things like, what was it with Dark Souls 2?
I would say it would be pro-consumer if they were actually trying to fix it. And if I didn't think they actually did it because of the fact that they didn't want their ratings to be so low. Like, I firmly believe the reason they pulled it is because they're going to do a re-thing of it, and it's going to be like an updated version, which will allow them to go back on the store with a different title, which will allow that title to get a different rating system, because they pulled it off entirely. I'm pretty sure they're going to put it back up and name something differently.
Well, didn't they say that they were working to fix it anyways, though? Like, they did plan to fix it?
The only thing they've patched in so far, because I do have the PC version still, because even though it's been refunded, since I bought it from Green Man Gaming, it was a CD key, so I'm waiting for that to get taken care of. But what they have, at least from what I understand, patched in so far is the AA that was missing, and the stuff that just made it look pretty, like the water effects.
Uh-huh.
That was patched in and fixed. And I would also agree with you if it wasn't for the fact of this next little bit of information that I have that I almost forgot to mention. If you looked at the NVIDIA GameWorks video for Batman Arkham Knight, some people did a little digging on it. Just a little bit, a little tiny bit. It looked very, very... stable 60 FPS at all time with all the special features on and whatnot. It looked very nice, very fluid, like everything was running fine.
Mm-hmm.
Someone isolated the background noise. The background noise sounded like a chipmunk. They recorded the game at 30 FPS and sped it up to give it a false 60 FPS look, and lied about that by posting a video showing it playing at a frame rate that it was never meant to be played at. So, you can say as much as you want. I think the developer's trying to do some good here. I don't believe it for a second. I don't think they give a shit. I think they only care about their sales, and since they were being refunded so much and losing so many sales, and it was showing, and there was such a giant shitstorm, they're trying to pull it away now and be like, hold on. We'll fix it. Because if they cared, they wouldn't have given those people so little time. They wouldn't have cared so very little about the PC port in the first place, and they wouldn't have put it out in the state that it fucking was put out in. Literally ripping people off that, trying to.
Yeah, but there's a lot of different arms of, like, different companies. Like, I mean, the marketing arm's usually the one that gets, like, the biggest load of crap.
Oh, you want to talk about the marketing arm? Because we could talk about the PR arm as well. The PR arm went out of their way to say that PC gamers are nothing but a bunch of whiny crybabies. There is nothing wrong with the game, and they should basically shut the fuck up and go back to their basement that they live in. This is what the PR person said. about people when they started complaining about the game originally. You know, before it was removed from Steam. The PR person just told fucking PC gamers to basically shove it. You aren't worth shit. So, again, you can tell me as much as you want that, I think they're trying to make some headway. No, they're fucking scumbags.
Well, and no, my point was, like, the marketing people are going to go out there, and they're going to be the ones who are going to be like, oh, look how great this looks, like this and it. And then there's someone higher up that's just like, we're getting a lot of complaints. This needs to be taken care of. This should never have happened. So, I like to at least think that, I guess my point is you're almost making it sound like everyone in WB was just out to scum, like rip everyone off.
A lot of them, yeah, because NVIDIA was tied in with it, and they're the ones that did the fake video. WB's PR people insulted anyone that said the game was broken the first night it came out and just went batshit crazy off on people. Iron Galaxy was pointing at WB and saying it's their fault. WB was saying, no, Iron Galaxy's just stupid. They don't know what they're doing. We shouldn't have hired them in the first place. They're nothing but a bunch of amateurs. Everyone was just pointing the finger at each other, and then eventually WB just came out and said, we're just gonna take it down. No. There was a lot of vitriol. There was a lot of hatred. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of lying. There was a lot of things from every side of WB, Rocksteady, Iron Galaxy, their PR, everything. Like, all of it. The entire game and anyone that touched it, as of right now, in my eyes and many other people's from what they saw, are just fucking scumbags.
You said Rocksteady had nothing to do with the PC port at all. Why are they lumped in with it too?
Because they fucking pointed the blame at other people, and then they basically were like, oh yeah, these people that did the fucking thing for us, they're stupid. And they're like, yeah, we shouldn't have hired amateurs. And they're like, wait. No, you only gave us so much time. And Rocksteady, yes, they had nothing to do with it. They only gave them so much time, though. And what they had to do with it, they didn't touch the game, they didn't make the game, but they did say, fucking get to work, do this in this little amount of time because we don't give a shit enough to do it ourselves. And then they also put it out for people to buy, knowing damn well it wasn't gonna work. Knowing damn well it wasn't, and tried to sell it to people. Rocksteady and everyone attached to this game are fucking scumbags.
I think we're just getting ourselves a little worked up, Brendan. That's my only point.
Well, I mean, you can say that all you want, but you're looking at it from an outside perspective. I've seen all the shit on the inside, so...
Seeing it on the inside means you worked there, though, and, you've seen these people, go out of their way to,
No, I mean, I saw all the shit that happened.
It happened to you, so yeah, but, you still got your money
back. And
not
just me,
you got
but
the PlayStation
to everyone.
4 version, yeah. But I'm saying, yeah, some bad things did happen, but they did make it right, and they did it within a day.
Basically, I'm right now, as it stands, aside from Lego games, I will not buy anything WB related again.
Alright, we'll see how long that lasts.
On PC. Let me clarify that. On PC.
On PC. Okay.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm I'd love to see you not buy the next Mortal Kombat game, which actually that was a mess too, speaking of which, but...
It was, and it also had a really bad PC port as well.
Mm-hmm. But bad PC ports have always been a thing. I don't know. They usually are really bad.
Yeah, but I understand... Well, they're not usually really bad. But I will say this. I understand a bad PC port and a bad just fucking anything port. And Batman Arkham Knight was a bad decision. Wasn't even a bad port. It was a bad decision putting it out there in the state that it was in. It was a bad everything. However... MKX was also a bad decision.
That was probably even worse. You could literally not even play that game right away.
You couldn't play Batman. You would get inside the Batmobile, which is over half of the game, by the way, and it would drop you to 5 frames. It would just fucking tank your hardware. It didn't matter what you were on. It didn't matter what drivers you were on. You were just fucked. And so run at minimum settings, which by the way was 720p, everything on lowest and everything turned off. Oh, and there were only 8 options in the game, 4 of which were NVIDIA specific, so if you were AMD, you were fucked. Most people on AMD couldn't even run the game, couldn't even get it to boot up in the first place. They essentially just scammed people. They did. And when people called them out for it, that's when they were like, oh, we're sorry. But, I mean, listen, I don't know. It was a bunch of bullshit. It really sucked. I'm not buying any of their PC games again outside of Lego.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. We'll see how long it lasts.
All right.
So, other news, we talked about DRIVECLUB out for PlayStation Plus.
Yep.
The only other thing that I have on there is there's a lot of talk that Fatal Frame might be eShop only, the Wii U one coming.
Interesting.
Yeah, apparently its product page showed up, and instead of showing a box art, it showed an eShop logo.
Did you see the Halo thing? I don't know. I just don't see that you put it on here, so I'm guessing not. Microtransactions will be in Halo 5.
I did hear about that, but I didn't hear exactly what it was.
All right, I can elaborate a little bit. So essentially, there's a war game mode, and before you start the war game mode, there's kind of like loadouts, like you would have in like Call of Duty or something like that. But these are loadouts you earn. So every single time you like play the game, you earn them, and then you buy them with like in-game credit. But they're going to allow you to spend actual money on microtransactions to get those loadouts, like special loadouts, such as like rocket launchers or plasma sniper, that sort of thing, to start out with instead of having to earn it. And that kind of sucks, but there is one good side to this, and that's the fact that they have stated that because of this decision, every single DLC map will be free. So, because they don't want to split the player base. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a good idea, but I don't know how I feel about the microtransactions at all.
I mean, my thought on microtransactions always has been, if people want to pay for things, then let them pay for it.
But these don't seem like cosmetic this time. This seems like pay to win, like in my opinion.
But it's stuff that you're going to earn anyways, right? That's what you just said. So,
but they will get it quicker, which is going to give them the edge, which means you might not be able to get that edge to earn it because they paid $10 instead to get it. That's my point. That's the thing. If someone pays money and is able to dominate people who didn't pay money for something, that could be an issue, and that would be considered pay to win. And that is the farthest thing from what Halo needs.
But it's just
I mean, that's the farthest thing from what any game needs. That would be like if fucking you gave Nintendo $15 and for Splatoon, you basically can't get splattered with a paint roller. Like, it's fucking, yeah. I mean,
well, no,
like you have longer bubble life. There we go. Yeah. You have a much longer bubble life, like 2 minutes.
I wouldn't even say that. Like this would be more like if Splatoon launched with all just like the normal splatter shots, and you were able to buy an ink roller.
Yeah,
and just roll around with that. Yep. And you'd have a little bit of advantage because you'd be the only one with the ink roller. Mm-hmm. But everyone else will earn it eventually. And in the Warzone game mode, at least the way it was described to me, almost sounded like it was kind of Splatoon-like anyways. Because
it's essentially Battlefield from the looks of it.
Because it's not, like, there's lots of different ways to earn, like, credit for your team. Like, I don't know, it's not like, this is not like a 4v4 match kind of thing.
True. Well, I mean, it kind of is.
It kind of is, but it's, I mean...
Is it 4v4 or is it 6v6?
Well, the numbers don't really matter. My point was, though, it's almost more like Splatoon, where like running around and killing people is not always the only way to win. So,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I think it's interesting. Like, you know, it'd be one thing if they were in the competitive multiplayer modes and they were doing microtransactions, but for this mode, especially considering it's kind of like it's new and it's different, and it's at least on paper seems like it's something that could be okay to work around, then I think it's worth trying, especially, too, if it leads to them getting free DLC and different income methods, true. Then maybe it's worthwhile to try. I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan of microtransactions that much. Like, I wouldn't pay for it myself, but if someone wants to try it, sure, I guess. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's that.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they'll match them up with other people who decided to buy them anyways, or who have those weapons already. I don't know. I don't know how the matchmaking works in that mode, so...
No one does yet.
Yeah, so... Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, Fatal Frame might be eShop only, and that's just based on the fact it doesn't have a box art, it just has an eShop logo. And Devil's Third, which wasn't at E3, and everyone was all flipping out that it might be coming to NA, North America, because... It does have a release date for Japan. It has a release date for Europe. It doesn't have. It wasn't even at E3, and nothing's been announced for NA. So I don't know. I mean, I wasn't super excited for that game, anyways.
Damn it, I want it.
But
it looks like fun. It looks like a lot of fun, actually.
The good news is Itagaki has promised that Devil's Third will release in NA.
Oh, thank God.
He basically was like, "I will make it happen." I don't remember his exact words, but he was very adamant that it was going to happen. So maybe it's not Nintendo. I mean, the game's weird. Like it's an Amazon exclusive in Japan, which is very odd. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that game, but I'm sure we'll hear more about it soon. My guess is it'll probably end up being like an eShop release as well, which I don't really care about. That's fine.
I'd be happy with an eShop release of it.
Yeah, like for Fatal Frame, I'm just happy we're getting it. So however you want to get it to me, I don't really care. I know the publishing cost of making it on a disc is more expensive. You don't want to take a big risk on it? Sure, throw it on the eShop. That's fine. So, anyways, that's all we got for news. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not particularly, nope.
No? Okay, well, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us this week. Don't forget you can download our episodes on iTunes, on Stitcher, or on the website doublegaming.com. Leave us a review, share the podcast with your friends.
With our friends.
With our friends, everyone's friends. And we always appreciate it. Definitely helps the podcast out. You can also find us on Facebook or on Twitter at GMECRUC. Wow. At GMECRUNCH. Boom. And, Brandon, do you have anything to send out on?
Nope.
Nope. And myself, my name's Mike Anastasia. You can find me on Twitter or your favorite gaming console. I am Clash of Penguin. And until next week, game on.
Game on. Jim fucking Sterling's son commented on it. Holy shit.
Jim Sterling's son commented on it? Is that what you said?
No, Jim fucking Sterling's son commented on it. You don't know. Okay. I don't know if you follow him.
Nope.
It's Jim Sterling, but, like, from Destructoid, who then quit Destructoid.
Yeah.
And went and made his own fucking site. And it's doing pretty well, actually. He had this developer that mocked him and made a fake Steam account and named himself Jim fucking Sterling's son. And then the developer was trolling Jim Sterling by pretending to be Jim Sterling on the Steam forums with the name Jim fucking Sterling, insulting the game using the video that Jim Sterling had made about it before, and then going like full retard on it. And then like they had taken his video and redubbed it, and like it's a big thing. So now every time Jim Sterling has like a sign off, he's like, because I'm Jim fucking Sterling. Son. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, Jim fucking Sterling, son.